What's good, fam? What's good, peeps? Thank you for joining in another session of the 2 Cents Podcast. I'm your host and your journalist, Nino. First of all, as I always do in my introductory, thank the man upstairs for letting me wake up this morning. Thank the man upstairs for letting me complete another day yesterday. To all my subscribers, please continue to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Click that button. I appreciate y'all. It is steady picking up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To all my fans, my followers, and my listeners, I love y'all all. You know, I got to shout out to a little bit of my circle, my boys and my fellas. Shout out to my partner David on the David Parker Podcast, USA Podcast. What's up, Big Rod? Rod Stricknine, my little brother, my little play brother. What's up, Rod? What's up to my boy Marlon? What's up to Norris, Big Curtis? They're my partners that work with me at the job. We always consulting, having conferences, talking about everything from sports to relationships to ladies, you know, to any kind of thing going on, to the stock market. We always sitting down, chopping it up, you know, doing our thing on that. What's up to my ladies out there that are always interested in what I'm doing on the podcast and bring me sometimes some real genius topics that I'm just digging, you know. What's up, Miss Lucille? What's up, Miss Mary Bell? Both of the Miss Viles, Miss Valley, Miss Valerie, Miss Val, both of the Miss Viles. What's up, Miss Cheryl? What's up, Miss Shelley? What's up, Miss Ivy? You know, Miss Naomi. What's going on with you? What's up, to all the people out there? What's up, Miss Erica? How you doing? Sweetie, you doing okay? What's going on with you? What it do, Miss Amber? What's up, Miss B, Miss Brittany? Appreciate you, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, to my nephews, Jew and Keith. You know, what's up, Big Pootie? Papa, what up, baby? What's up with y'all? What's up, B.A., Baracus, Don Welker? What's up, Freebie? Big Hump, what it do? What it do? What it do? What up, Blueski? I be forgetting you. What up, Big Blue? What up, Anthony Burbage? Marco, what it do? What it do? What it do? What's going on? Well, the topic I'm going to get into today, you know, when I'm knowing my piece, the fellas are making a conscious effort, you know, showing a lot of effort, showing recognition, going far and beyond to show that they interested in ladies. I am getting a lot of topics that are getting texted to me that's showing how the man wants to have equal, you know, use an equal process within trying to court a woman and do things that improve his chances of getting to woman, or getting to the woman, or, you know, maybe get a chance to date the woman. Start out as a friendship and possibly date and see where it goes on from there. But shout out to my fellas, you know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. I mean, that's a beautiful thing, you know, because women are precious and they are beautiful. And, you know, we love them. I know I love them, so it ain't nothing wrong with you. My topic today is first dating. Okay, for the man to cook for the woman or the woman to cook for the man. First dating, is it okay for the woman to cook for the man or for the man to cook for the woman? You know, we're going to keep it even keel on here, you know. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, you dig? It's 50-50, perfectly fine for either the man or the woman to cook for the other during the early stages of the dating. It's a thoughtful gesture that can strengthen the connection between two people regardless of traditional gender roles. What matters most is that the gesture is sincere and well received. Of course, man, why cannot a man cook for a woman? I can cook myself. Fellas, that is one of the biggest things that I believe you can get a woman's approval if you can cook. I know traditionally, old school, and a lot of the form that still goes or laid down today, and in past traditional ways of when a woman and a man are trying to start a relationship, where it started a friendship and then it built into maybe a boyfriend, a girlfriend, and then it might be built into marriage. It always seemed, or it always was this by, routinely that the woman cooks. But men have mad skills of cooking too in this day and time. I got some skills, I can do my thing on some desserts. I can prepare a meal, so of course, you can still be manly, but I think that's a great thing, first date. The man cooks for the woman. It ain't nothing wrong with it. It's not nothing wrong. Really, it's another, talent that you can show the woman that you possess and have. And just like men, a lot of women love the good meal. And, they love to see a man get in the kitchen, mix it up, put something together, take your time, read instructions, cook some vegetables in a skillet, steam vegetables, do things like that, bake chicken, things like, put some meat, put some ground meat and saute some ground meat, things like that. That's a beautiful thing. I think a woman would love seeing a man doing that. So I don't think nothing is wrong with that. Of course, still a lot of women would like to cook first on the first date. But if a man possesses that skill to cook on the first date and then it end up being good, that's just already some more pointers for him trying to, win the woman's likening of him, appreciate him. He showed her that he has showed the woman that he's not only manly and that not only he's a gentleman, but he can get in the kitchen and mix it up too. The thought process of a man can cook for a woman as well as a woman can cook for a man on the first date. Shifting gender norms. Traditionally, cooking for a date was often seen as a woman domain, as I just pointed out earlier. However, in modern relationships, this is evolving with both men and women are equally capable and comfortable of cooking for their dates. Man, fellas, go to the grocery store. First of all, talk to your lady friend that you're trying to start something up with, friendship. Get to know before your first date. Ask her what kind of things that she like. Do your research and your homework on it. Ask her what kind of meals that she be digging. What she like to eat. Because a lot of women like to eat real healthy. So ask her what kind of vegetables she like. Does she like her vegetable cooked a certain way? Does she like them steamed? Or does she like, some women even like their vegetables not even cooked thoroughly. They like them still a little bit cooked, almost done, but they like them a little bit still raw, because that's, I have picked up on that. A lot of ladies are working out and eating healthy, and somewhat of raw vegetables, not well done cooked, is good for when they're working out. But anyway, as I said, do the process. Find out what your date, and I'm talking about fellas, like to eat. She might like fish. She might like a little fried fish. She might like her fish baked in the oven. She might like lemon on her fish. She might like certain things, on her fish. She might like, she might like a lot of her things steamed broiled. Do your homework. Find out what she likes, and on that first date, surprise her. Go to the store, and this is what I had to learn too, fellas, me myself, because this used to be a big pet peeve to me. When you go to the store and say you're going to cook for that first date with your lady friend, and try to impress her, take your time, go down every aisle and examine each ingredient or thing that you're going. Because see, myself, I just want to go in there and rush and get back home. But look at each product, make you a little grocery list, go in there, get the intel on what she likes to eat, go to the store, spend you some money, bring it back to your crib, or bring it back to your place or your lair or your loft, and say y'all date is about like 7 that evening, you get back by 5 o'clock, before you take a shower and get ready for that first date, even if it doesn't even constitute that you're gonna be at the house on the first date, because it's some things that a lot of times when you're on the first date and you meet a woman and say either y'all want to cook, it's the get to know process. So like a lot of women are not comfortable with coming to a man's place at first. And so as a lot of men are not comfortable coming to a woman's place at first. So they just want to meet at a common ground place and maybe do that. But if they are comfortable and they do want to come to your place, get there, get back to the crib. I'm saying about 7 o'clock is your day. Cook your meal before you take your shower. Cook a nice 2-3 course meal, Even whip up some dessert, because I would do that. Man, I will, make some, some fish. I will grill some fish, have some vegetables on the side of it, and then I'll whip up a batch of my dope brownies that sooner or later I'm going to also have a podcast with this, people. I got some brownies that are off the chain, and I'm not bragging, but I have got full-fledged backing from everybody that told me I'm gonna have to go on my channel and prepare my brownies and show you guys how I prepare my brownies. But anyway, as I was saying, back to the cooking for a woman on the first date, and prepare the meal and just do it like that, and it'll be all good. I mean, it'll be a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Showing affection and care. That's all it is when cooking, because that's very thoughtful. Cooking for someone is a primal way of showing affection and care. It can be a romantic gesture, regardless of who initiates it, and it demonstrates an interest in the other person's well-being. That's a thoughtful thing to do. That's a thoughtful thing to do. To want to put in the time to cook for another person, especially on the first date, I mean, for you to get to that point, it must be some things or qualities you see about, say, fellas, you see about this woman, but you want to make her a keeper. You don't want to just see this as, I'm just going to, date this woman or meet this woman, meet and greet, and we maybe date, and then that's going to be it. It's done. You see already by the time you want to cook for her, even on the first date, that she's potentially someone that you would like to start a nice, solid relationship with, and you want to possibly build into something long-term, and which is cool. But it's just a beautiful thing to somebody that want to cook for you. I have had women cook for me, and that's very thoughtful. Because, like I say, it puts in time, it puts in work, and also you want to prepare the meal correctly too. Because listen, it's a lot on the line. Women have a lot of different tastes, so you don't want to just prepare the meal and then the meal is not prepared right. The food tastes bad. It might be overcooked, or it might not be cooked enough. You didn't take your time and season it well and things like that. Make sure everything is straight up on point, and it takes a lot of well-being and time and care. But that's a beautiful thing if somebody want to cook for you, And men that sent in this topic again, I applaud you guys again. Make that move for your woman, because it's not nothing wrong with you cooking for her on the first date. It doesn't take away from your masculinity. It doesn't take nothing from you being a man. You still a man. You just going far and beyond, showing her that, you're very interested in her, and you could care for her, and you really dig in her. Breaking ice and building a connection. Cooking together can be fun and a relaxed activity. That it can. allowing for easy conversation and a connection. It can be a great way to get to know each other better in a casual setting. It can, because you can kind of, while you're cooking with each other or cooking for somebody, or just say you're doing it together, you can feel out each other, ask questions that you might hadn't got to ask on the phone, and also it's a lot of do's and don'ts with that. Ask the person what they like to do on a normal, consistent basis, as well as the person be asking you what you like to do on a normal, consistent basis. But again, when it comes to this cooking, and even if the man is cooking for the woman, it's cool because the woman can give her input. While you cooking, ask the woman possibly, well, how would you do this? How would you season this piece of steak? If you preparing some lamb chops, how long would you let them bake in the oven? How long would you let your vegetables boil or cook on simmer? Things like that. It's a very interesting way of bringing up conversation and holding a nice conversation, breaking the ice, as it said. Because again, with relationships, like I always say, and this topic brings it out again, as long as you communicating and talking, it's all good. And when I mean communicating and talking, it's about anything. Long as you are reaching out and then it's getting a response, that's what you want. That's what you this is what you hear about. So, that's a great thing, breaking the ice and the connection, because it's the filling out process. Because a lot of times on the first date, sometimes each partner or mate is kind of nervous because they go into it with, I don't really know much about the other, so I don't want to say nothing too derogative. I don't want to say nothing that's too over the top. I don't want to say something even that can be inappropriate. Cooking is a great way of just touching bases with each other, talking about common things, and breaking the ice. First date considerations. While cooking for a first date can be a great idea, it's generally recommended to meet in a public place or for the initial get to know phase. If you do decide to cook for a first date, well, that makes sense too, because possibly, fellas, if you want to cook for a woman, and how today's times is, a lot of women say, well, let's meet on a common, facility or a common site before I just come to your house or you come to my house, even for cooking, because it's the get to know process. Remember, this is the first date, so they want to kind of meet you, because things are wild and crazy out there. It is. Beautiful as the United States of America is, and a lot of great things are going on in the world. It is a lot of crazy hostility, madness, sickness, with things going on with that are, breaking the laws. I don't want to really mention them, but this, disgusting things that are going on, and you can't blame a female for the first date. Let this meet at a mutual, facility or something. Feel out each other, again, to get to know process. Even if you're going to cook for me, can we meet at a place where you possibly can do the cooking somewhere besides your place till I get to know you? And then we always, once we meet and the day goes well, then the next time we meet, then they'll feel a little bit more comfortable with you, because they did get to interact with you, on the first day at a place, and get to know and kind of let their guard down as far as women. So that's how that goes down too. First date considerations. It's a good idea to communicate with your date beforehand and gauge their interest. Again, before you cook for them, be on the phone, because you still going to chop it up on before the first date. See what she likes. See, does she like a certain kind of wine? See, does she like sweet wine, or does she like a dry wine? She might like a Merlot, something like that. She might like red wine, she might like a light wine, See how she likes her steak cooked or things like that. A lot of people like meat cooked medium rare. A lot of people like it cooked done because medium rare, there's more of a juiceful taste, with a little redness in the meat because it's more juicy. But then a lot of people like it well done. So, of course, if you're going to cook and want to impress this woman on the first date, you kind of got to get to know what the woman like to eat. You just can't go in there and do a lot of cooking. Say you go and prepare a meal, and the meal is fabulous, dope, great. I mean, you worked hard at it. Everything is nice, done rightly. The food is cooked to a great room temperature. Nothing is burnt. Nothing is overcooked, overprocessed, or nothing. But the thing you didn't do right is, this is not the kind of meal that she liked. This is not the kind of like the vegetables or the food she liked, because you didn't get to talk to her and ask her what she likes. So that's simple, or what she likes. You didn't get to talk on the phone and confer with her and say, well, what are your interests? What kind of meal are you used to eating? Because a lot of women basically like to eat a lot of fish. A lot of women like to eat red meat, but now and then. A lot of women like to eat salmon, things like that. A lot of women just like to eat small portions of things. You might have cooked her a meal and, went kind of overboard with making it too much as far as proportionate. Because I know, and I've seen a lot of women that eat very healthy and eat, because they work out, they eat a lot of small portion meals, They'll rather eat 2 or 3 small portion meals than get a big meal and where it's a lot on your plate and seem like you're glutton and do it that way. So again, you always gotta take care of your business beforehand, so when it's time to shine and do your thing, you'll be on point. Mutual effort and appreciation. If one person offers to cook, the other can reciprocate by offering to help with preparation or cleanup, or by cooking a meal in return later on. This shows mutual appreciation and willingness to contribute to the relationship. Well, if I cook and you willing to clean up, that's cool. And then we're going to flip it vice versa. But not only it shows appreciation, I think it'll be fun, because I think only a real stand-up guy or a real stand-up woman that's seen that you done put the effort in on this date, and if she into you, like you showing you into her by trying to prepare this meal on the first date, I think the woman won't have no problem if you done prepared the meal. Sit there, an hour or two, and or whatever it takes over the stove, making a meal, preparing the thing, chopping it up, dicing and cutting, putting onions, green peppers, or whatever in the meal, and doing that. I don't think she have no problem cleaning up, because I think, again, she's appreciative of what you have did for her. And now I'm talking about a real stand-up woman and a real stand-up man. And she don't mind cleaning up after you done prepared the meal, and in return, she probably will say, okay, well, this round one was on you, next time it's on me. But again, this has to be two people that reciprocate. When that shows reciprocation by, as much as you showing you interest in her, she has to show the interest in you, or you showing you feeling her, she has to feel you the same way. So overall, fellas, again, kudos to you guys out there. I don't think it's nothing wrong with, switching up on what traditionally what you will see. Who says the woman always has to cook? This is going into the 21st century. Things are different. When we see all this madness and crazy things out here, going on, why not on the first date a man can't cook a meal? Because men have skills cooking too. Why not a man can't cook or prepare a meal for the lady that he's showing interest in or got his eye on? I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. First date, is it okay for a man to cook for a woman? Just like a woman can't cook for a man, I don't have no problem with it. 2 cents, my podcast. This is Nino. Thank you.